Okay, so over the course of a day, I'm touching my phone. The phrasing there is not great. I'm picking up my phone way too many times throughout the course of a day. And the question you might be asking is, Dave, why are you picking up your phone so many times a day? Touch grass, get a life. I completely agree with you, and I understand that. But for me, over the last couple of years, the Galaxy Fold 5 have been instrumental in my day-to-day life, not only for leisure time, but also for a vast majority of the productivity things that I need to get done and accomplish on a day-to-day basis. Going from the Z Fold 4 to the Z Fold 5 was a pretty easy decision to make for a lot of different reasons. But if you saw my one-year review for the Galaxy Fold 5 that I'll have a link right up here for you guys, you'll know all of the reasons that to this day, I love that phone tremendously for a wide variety of different reasons. So the goal here is to run this Fold 6 through its paces over the course of the next week to hopefully paint a picture for you guys of all of the ways that the Fold 6 complements my lifestyle, the way that it might complement yours. And if you guys are new here, my name is Dave, and this is where tech meets lifestyle. All right, so I'm at the park. I'm actually about to record a section that you guys are going to see later in the video, not right now, but take a look at this, right? So I'm gonna set you down, tripod. Now, this is a phone with a large enough display that I don't have to go out and buy a several $100 external monitor display thing, basically a secondary display, so that way while I'm out recording for you guys, at this point YouTube is more like a business for me, and so having something like this that can accentuate my lifestyle in that additional way is amazing. Now what I can say is that the Fold 5 can also do this, and so what are the ways for me that practically speaking are a little bit different that I think might be improved here? Functionally, it accomplishes the same task because you're getting the same exact 7.6-inch display on the inside. But what I can say is that because the crease is significantly reduced compared to the Fold 5, when I'm looking at the middle segment on the screen, the glare isn't really bending off of that middle portion of the display. And so in that way, I can definitely say functionally, that is an improvement, and it's something that I definitely do appreciate using this over the Fold 5. Today is the 27th. I'm about to upload this video in about 10 to 15 minutes, and I just want to let you guys know that I created the thumbnail that you clicked on with the Fold 6. I created all of my thumbnails on the Fold 5 over this last year. You can do this on a normal phone, but I just find with this form factor, the S Pen, it's just really hard to beat, and this is a part of my lifestyle, increasingly so as I do this YouTube thing. This is a big plus. Hi there, good afternoon. My name is David Velez. I'm just calling because my fiance and I are currently looking to get pre-approved.
20 years now. I work with a ton of first-time home buyers, very familiar with the first-time home buyer program. Make sure we're putting you in the best situation then. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to send you the link. I could send it right to your phone. It's an application. Shouldn't take you long at all to complete.
Okay.
And as you go through it, if you have any questions, just give me a shout and let me know. What
are some of the things you would like for us to, say, bring to a meeting so you can kind of run through the numbers and the options with us?
So it's going to ask you to upload like your pay stubs and things like that. If you're regular, you should have filed like either like an SC Corp of your tax return for your income.
Okay.
The issue with you is in order to use 2 consecutive jobs.
All right. Thank you so much.
You got to take care.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. So
first thing being that this is a cell phone call quality sounds fantastic. And I have to say that the S Pen here on the screen feels really nice. And because the hinge part on the screen is not only reduced in terms of width, but also in terms of depth, it feels more like you're writing, honestly, like just on a normal piece of paper when you're getting through that middle portion of the screen. And this writing experience with this mini tablet form factor is another way that this kind of just accentuates my lifestyle in a lot of different ways. And the reason to always pick it up and put it down a lot. So in the Galaxy Fold 5, I was getting like around 6 hours worth of screen on time, sometimes 6.5 depending on what it is I was doing. Now this has the same exact 4400 milliamp hour battery as the Fold 5, which is a little bit of a bummer, but with the brand new chipset, right, the hope for a lot of people, yourself, myself definitely included, is that you're getting better battery life out of this than on the Fold 5. And I can definitely say that like on a day-to-day basis. Alright, so I'm actually going to stop myself right here. Everything I'm about to say is talking about how basically the battery life is not really too much different from the Fold 5. However, I'm currently populating your screen with screenshots that actually show this version of me right here on the tree discussing battery life was not as informed as the current version of me just talking to you right now. Basically, long story short, is that on a day-to-day basis, I've been averaging about 30 minutes more worth of screen on time on the Fold 6 versus the Fold 5. 30 extra minutes of screen on time, an improvement is nice. Would definitely like to see these foldables getting like in that 7.5 hour range in terms of battery life. So I'm still topping up like once per day, but it's definitely an improvement. Now, for those of you guys who have been around for a little while now, you guys know that my day job is that of a clinical therapist, and so I go to people's homes, have family therapy and individual therapy. And at the end of those sessions, I have to make sure that I'm writing down information about what we discussed, what I think treatment plans are for the future, how I think they're going to get better, and all of those things. And I have to say the Galaxy devices for a long time have been really helpful for me in that way, looking at like the Galaxy Ultra series and the Fold as well, right? I mean, the S Pen is a fantastic feature, but something with the Galaxy Eye that I've found has been immensely helpful is the AI that's built into the voice recorder now, right? So I'm going to record my screen for you guys. I'm not going to be giving any identifying information, of course, because that's very illegal. So you have an idea of how this helps me and how it might help you. Today in session, we discussed a lot of the relationship between mom and dad and their backgrounds and their family history and how just to kind of give you guys a snippet so you have an idea. So here I'm going to click over on summary, and there you have family background and mental health impact, discuss parents' background, family history, mother's low income upbringing influencing her parenting style, leading to perceived stringency with resources. Mother's side has a history of depression and anxiety, father's side has a history of schizophrenia. That is pretty good. I said a lot of words, and that very concisely packs all of those things into a nice package. And I think then the question becomes, well, you can do this on the 5 and you can do this on the 6. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, if you guys are looking at the Fold 5, it does this same process just as well as the 6. If there was a small thing, it's that I prefer the feel of the Fold 6 in the hand because of the boxier frame. I guess then I do the Fold 4 that's more rounded, but that's a small thing. Functionally, it works the same. Alright, so to be honest with you guys, when it comes to the gaming, it was great on the Fold 5, still just as great on the Fold 6. I really don't notice too much of a difference, and really none of my games ever really lagged or hitched on the Fold 5. Same is true here on the Fold 6, but I have noticed in intensive games like, say for example, Zenless Zone Zero, I've really been enjoying the game recently, that the Fold 6 does not get as hot as quickly as the Fold 5 does. Obviously, they have an improved cooling system in the Z Fold 6. That's something that tangibly, anecdotally, I have been able to experience. Now, the phone does still get quite warm, but not quite as hot as the Fold 5 in my experience, and definitely not as hot as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, where if I'm playing, say, like Honkai Star Rail, that phone gets incredibly hot. Do I think the better cooling is something that is a game changer for the Fold 6 over the Fold 5? I'm hard pressed to say so, but I think in terms of battery longevity, there could be some benefits there, but it's way too early to tell. All right, so I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. You see the screens here? Flat out, I was a fan of the way that the Pixel Fold was a wider display than the Galaxy Fold 5. I was a fan of how the OnePlus Open had a wider front display than the Galaxy Fold 5. I can without a doubt say that I'm 100% a fan that you have a slightly wider front display here on the Z Fold 6 than the Z Fold 5. When first glancing at them, you probably won't notice too much of a difference, but in actual practical use, what you'll notice is that the display elements are actually larger, but because it is wider and the frame is actually boxier, I find that it's actually easier to navigate UI elements. Elements on the screen just don't feel as cramped. Typing is significantly better. Slightly larger elements on your social media feeds and such. So I would say definitely having the boxier frame and the slightly larger front display, in my book, 110% are just flat out wins. Not everybody's going to care about that necessarily, but for me, on a day-to-day basis, that makes a really nice sizable difference. All right, so I know we were all hoping for a camera upgrade in terms of picture and video for the Fold 6. Didn't really get that, but a couple of things that I have noticed is that pictures and video on the Fold 6 are not as overly saturated and punchy. Depending on who you are, there's going to be a plus or minus, just something that I've noticed. Something that I think is definitely more of an objective improvement though is that across multiple pictures and videos that I've personally taken, the Fold 6 seems to do a better job in terms of balancing the image that you're getting when there are a lot of shadows and highlights, where On the Fold 6, the highlight roll-off is a lot more natural, I find, in terms of like right here in this particular moment. And in terms of like what I'm looking at in the viewfinder, I feel like the highlights and the brightness that are on my face look more natural and organic on the Fold 6 over the Fold 5. I don't think the Fold 5 looks bad, but just in terms of comparing the two. And additionally, in terms of processing, it looks like the Fold 6 does do a better job of processing images, especially like when you're looking at those zoom photos, you're getting a bit of additional detail there and across the image as well. It's not like a massive night and day difference. Like if we were to get a substantial hardware upgrade for the cameras, but to my eye, on a day-to-day basis, you're still getting really good pictures on both of these. And I do see some fine tuning over here on the Fold 6. I feel like by this point in the video, I've basically covered everything I think would make a practical, real-world difference to you guys on a day-to-day basis. The Fold 6 is awesome. I love a ton about it. It's lighter, the squared-off feeling in the hand feels fantastic. I'm a huge fan of that. You're still getting solid shooters that have a bit better processing than on the Fold 5. And I think one of the biggest things is that the crease is significantly reduced. I'm talking it's not as deep and it's not as wide. And when actually using it, for the first time using a Galaxy phone, this is the closest it practically feels, even when writing with the S Pen. It's the closest it feels to actually feeling like just a flat slab, and that's definitely an amazing thing. I think for a lot of people, this is going to be tough. The Galaxy Fold 5, again, if you haven't watched my 1 year review video yet, please watch that. That covers a lot of my thoughts on the practical uses of the Fold 5. And really, outside of battery life, I think it's an amazing device. If you want something that is really refined and you don't have a Fold yet, I mean, the Fold 6 is an amazing way to go. I really have thoroughly been enjoying my time with this phone / tablet over the last week. And if you're looking to get into the space, this might be a really good way to do so. But thank you guys so much again for stopping by and hanging out. I wish you a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night, depending on the time it is you are watching this. And as always, peace, love, adios, bye. Bye guys, and have a great day.